Another night, another Tuesday, another All right, welcome, yes, to another Boyd, the episode. It's just another time where we get together and we try to figure out what the hell is going on around us. I feel like it's not that apparent. Yeah, so Iran, crazy stuff. I don't know who to believe. Everything's crazy. A lot of people stand to benefit from getting a war stoked. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Look at that. We've been through it. Some of us not yet, but you're gonna get a taste, possibly. I don't know. Things are crazy, so we'll see. Why don't you tell me? What are your opinions of what's going on? The news is saying one thing. Prime ministers of different countries are saying different things. I don't know. I feel like if we look back through U.S. history, I think we've been through this before many times. There's always some kind of little prelude to war. It doesn't really matter. Is it in our hands anyway? These are questions we should be asking ourselves. Looks like we got two folks out of the billions of folks out there in the whole universe. We have, well, say universe. I mean, on the Earth, but what we could talk about that too. What do you think? Is there? Well, I guess maybe not human life. Maybe, I don't know. What's your opinion? Is there human life forms out there in the universe outside of us? We'll talk about that too, and Iran, and whether or not what would they think about this situation if they were watching it and you're like, look, let me explain. Okay, hold up, let me explain. Other earthly humanoid beings coming down. Nah, I mean, anyway, whatever. That's a whole other discussion. But that would be an interesting point of view. We should think about it like that. Like if we had to explain this situation to an alien. So some folks were asking about a call-in number. I might be able to work out a call-in number. Until then, use the Skype link that is in the description, and I might be able to I might be able to hook up something for a call-in number until then. But you can also use a live chat, both Facebook and looks like we have one person on Facebook. If you stick around long enough to write down a comment, you can be jumping into the live commentary. Well, they didn't last that long, so they're gone. Look at that. Facebook's like that. It's just a different kind of vibe. You know what I mean? People go on YouTube and they sort of want to like zone into something. You know, people on their Facebook are like, oh, someone's live. Oh shit. What? Oh, they're getting serious. Oh, I'm out. It's just not the right place. But it's sort of more for like, hopefully they fail over or not fail over or whatever. There's a link to the YouTube, which got 3 folks out of the billions of folks in this whole entire planet. We have 3 people joining us today in the Fellowship of Truth. We're like the Fellowship of the Ring, but for truth. It's probably more dangerous than even the trip to Mordor. Because if you get too close to the truth, it seems like you get shot by someone crazy. comes and shoots you because they're crazy, right? They're so crazy, these people. That's just what happens. That's the world we're living in. I mean, if it's not true, tell me in the comments. Someone out there, even if you're in the archive, I still get notifications. Let me know. We'll talk about it. All right. Well, down to 2 folks in the YouTube stream. So talking about possibility of being drafted. How crazy is that? I mean, I was thinking maybe I'm too old. I'm going to be 42 in February, but I don't know. Is it up to 45 maybe? I don't know. That would be silly. But we say this, but we don't. I mean, I don't know the future. So let's talk about it. Got 2 folks on YouTube. What do you think? What do you think about what is going on in this world that we live in? Meanwhile, I'm going to figure out, oh yeah, my Google Voice number. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I have a Google Voice number, so I guess you guys could use that to give me a holler. I'll put it in the comments if you guys want to call in. And what I'll have to do, maybe we might have to wait till next time. But you could use a Skype feed. Skype should be up and running. So let me double check just to make sure. But yeah, crazy stuff. Either so far topics: Iran, possible war, people you know getting drafted. Hey, is the draft good? I heard something in defense of the draft. This idea that if you are someone who is going that works for the military for your pay, for your livelihood, that you wouldn't say anything against that institution. Superfan Chris has tuned in. What is up, Superfan Chris? Good evening, sir. We have a couple other folks on with us tonight. Welcome, whoever you are out there in the world. We are trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And we were just lightly talking about the draft and being drafted in a war and something like that. I don't know. Now I lost my train of thought. I was trying to make sure my Skype is working and all that. But yeah, crazy stuff. What else? And whether or not, I guess, if we had otherworldly humanoid beings and we had to describe what the hell's going on with the potential to go to war, that whole thing, could we really, like, would it make sense, or would they be like, what, you're gonna go kill people, you're gonna go die because of this and that, like stupid shit? And we're like, well, yeah, like, because duh, you're not even from here, right? That's probably how it's gonna turn out. I could see Trump saying that. All right, Superfan Chris says all wars are bankers' wars. Yeah, follow the money. Come on, we know that. If everybody gets to know that and everyone sees it, it's like the last gasp. It's the last attempt to squeeze out this like little bit of fruit from the rind. And I don't know. I think there's going to be a massive movement somehow. I don't know what's it going to look like. I don't know. I'm afraid to say too honestly about it, because it could end up being the blueprint for revolution. And, I don't want to be that guy. But yeah, all wars are bankers' wars. Think about that. Why would we need to mobilize into war with Iran? What does it have to do with us, right? Because there's people that are going to make a lot of money. They've done it to us before. We've been here before. We've done it before. So, by the way, a couple people on Facebook, thank you for joining in. You can leave a comment, but Facebook sorry, I hate to say it, but Facebook sucks for this format. So there's a YouTube link. If I were you, jump on there. The live chat works much better. And there is a Skype feed, by the way, if you want to share your opinion or whatever thoughts, do that. Looks like we're down to one very unique person in all of YouTube, Superfan Chris. Oh, two. We're up to two. All right. So thank you all for joining us today. We're talking about trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Deja vu, the war that we have been fighting since 2002. Amen. Thank you, sir. There's even talk. I mean, who do you believe? I don't know. Whatever. With the U.S. track record, I don't know. I mean, I have to wonder. I mean, I hate to say that about my own country. It's like having a mob boss dad and being like, dang, I know my dad's a mob boss. So, yeah, he probably did kill the bodega owner. And knowing that, and when your mob boss dad is sitting there at the table, it's like, what? I didn't kill any mob. I didn't kill any bodega people. Come on, give me a break. And you're like, I already know it. That's how it's like you have this like, ugh, man, it sucks. But you can't change the fact that it's like your father that did it. You know, it's like, damn. Now what do you do? And now we're powerless. I feel like, what am I going to do about it? If we end up mobilizing the war, there's a faction of Americans that are like, oh yeah, let's do it. You know, we're going to war, bro. Let's try it out. Hey, I don't know. Well, I mean, we got a cultural issue going on, and I think it's on purpose. And I hate to see American brothers and sisters getting. I sound like a hippie, got the long hair for it and stuff, but hey, they were onto something, because supposedly we're supposed to be like patriotic and like care for other Americans and stuff like that. I don't know. Are we? Are we not? I don't. Let's talk about it, because sometimes I wonder. Go check out sites like the Ayn Rand Worship Center, the Atlas Society, and they'll talk to you about how selfishness is a virtue and altruism is a trick. I mean, this is real stuff. It's not ironic. It's real. Unless it's being created. I mean, unless it's like, what if it's like created by China to create discord within our society, to actually have people believe that they should be selfish and not care about other people? And I don't know. I don't know anymore. You tell me. All right, we got 4 people on YouTube. Chime in and say, well, I don't know. I'm telling you, no wonder people are neurotic, and no wonder we have suicide epidemics and all these people on pills and trying to seek an answer to things, because we live in a world of madness, of deception, I mean, it's seriously. All right, so how do we get to the bottom of it? My theory is somehow, some way, in our collective consciousness, whether we know it or not, by talking about it, by all chiming in and talking some shit about whatever shit we're talking about, we will hash through the bullshit, because we're getting fed bullshit. I think we can all agree somehow, right wing, left wing, all of that, we can agree that there's some level of bullshit we're all walking through, and we're succumbing to the swamp of sadness, and our horse is drowning in the fucking mud, and we're like, what the fuck, yo? But no, we got to keep trudging along, and I'm tired of that shit, right? Anyway, we got to say Fantasia, and that's about where the whole metaphor ends. Sorry to be checking this. I'm trying to find ways to make sure I can interact with you guys. So I want to make sure if you guys are trying to get in touch on Skype or some crap or whatever, that it's working. All right. So Superfan Chris says, so what is being hidden in plain sight right now? Obviously this is a distraction. Well, it depends on, I mean, I think that the attack to kill the general was something to provoke war. I think Iran is in a tough spot. They got to do something, right? Their people are probably feeling like, I mean, imagine you just got picked on by like the biggest kid in school, and he just like punked you for like your best friend like got punched in the face and like in front of you, and like, what are you gonna do about it? And the whole school is watching you, you know, and you're like, I mean, what are you gonna do? So I mean, I think someone's gonna want to have to do something back. You know what I mean? So, Luke, oh, hey, what's up, Luke? Thank you for tuning in, Luke. Luke says, how will social media change the way we fight with Iran? We now can hear directly what Iranians are thinking. Yeah, for sure. That the technology in general is going to change all sorts of stuff. I mean, we're living in a new era. So, some things you got to think about is, we can think about history. We can think about how it pertains to the contemporary. We can look at grand schemes of things like empires, like the Roman Empire, and how does that relate to like either the Western Empire or the American Empire or whatever empire you want to say. But at the same time, there are details in all of that, right? The nuances, right? That's a funky word. What does that mean? That means the little details that mean the difference between you and me, right? Between World War II and World War I, or if World War II and one really should be two and three, and that there was one prior to that we just don't talk about in the same fashion. It's who's curating our perception, because what even is, like, how do you even know what part of history is even real or not real, and how much of your life are you willing to dedicate to finding out what the truth is in any one of those millions of potential pathways to truth. I mean, some people dedicate their life to some of these things. They have a calling to that, and I applaud them for that. And I trust that what they say is true because they've dedicated this sort of intrinsic urge to seek that truth, right? So if we look to them, we can sort of hope that what they're saying is right. So there are some maybe universal things we can say about how's warfare going to change? How is this empire going to work against other components of empire? Or, how is this all going to play out? Because technology is going to change things. I mean, how much do you take into account chaos theory, right? Do you believe in the butterfly effect, right? What's the butterfly effect? That this notion that the wing beat of a butterfly can cause a typhoon on the other end of the earth, right? So one little tiny thing can spark a massive change, right? So sometimes those details, those nuances, those little things mean the big difference. So something like social media can change things drastically, because you not only can, observe directly what Iranians in general, at least those who have access. Now that's another component to think about, and you have to really understand the demographics of the country to know this. People who have access to technology to be able to be tracked and, sort of observed in that way. Now there are other things like being able to hack into different technology. What am I thinking? Like cameras or microphones that are sort of latent in different types of technology, like cell phones, or nowadays it could be your refrigerator. Could be connected to the Internet of Things, and that Internet of Things could be hacked, and therefore you could be listened to by Big Brother at any time. So it definitely is a good question, because we saw stuff also like the Arab Spring, and things sort of spawn out from Twitter, for instance. So those are some good questions. And how do you and this idea that, how will social media change the way we fight with Iran, and to be honest with you, Luke, I feel like it's normalized that we would sort of accept this premise that we will be fighting Iran and be involved in this war. You know what I mean? It's, I guess it's coming, right? All right. So let's see. Mentor, welcome, Mentor. Mentor Salvatore. Yo, James, what's up, bro? It's Paul. Mike's. Oh, okay. He wants to get a hold. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. That's what's up. Superfan Chris, I believe the media is hyping this up more than ever to create fear and hysteria. Oh, no doubt. Well, I mean, it's they are war provocateurs, right? They stand to gain ratings. They stand to become the conduit of freedom. I mean, not freedom, the message of freedom. They will claim to be the people who um, will unite or be that vector for uniting America or whatever. You know, of course, they'll try to take whatever credit they can. You know what I mean? Um, so, so yeah. What else? Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, other stuff too, that could be getting hyped up as well. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. Yeah, so I would definitely say, um, you have to really see through the, um, you got to see through what you got to really look at it as curators of your perception. Yeah. Um, you know what I mean? And so, yes, yes, Chris, superfan Chris, yes. And so what was I going to say? Sorry about that. Distracted by crazy events. So the uh, the media is. I mean, here you got to think about it this way: is there really a reason to tell you the truth? Right? I mean, does the media get paid more if the reporting is more truthful? I mean, who even rates that? Is there even such a thing as media truthfulness? And who would be the judge of that, right? We live in a what I refer to a lot of times as an epistemological crisis, meaning we don't know what's real and we don't know what's not, and we don't know uh, what's true, or we don't know what to believe, anything like that. And so we just live in this post-truth, you know, time. So how do you weed it out? And somewhere along the way, because you can't fool all the people all the time. So we live in a time, and this may be able to lean back on to Luke's comment about social media changing the landscape of war, because we're able to now present different dialogues that might be able to sort of open people's minds to this to different ideas. And that's what this show's about, for instance, is to um, this show is to try to suss through that. And so maybe we hear something like, for instance, Trump and Pompeo. Well, Pompeo, the Secretary of Defense, I believe he is. Secretary of State, excuse me. Pompeo is saying that there was an imminent threat and that he was planning an attack on something, right? Which there's no evidence put forth that that was happening. And the prime minister of Iraq was letting people know beforehand that how Trump was applauding him for hosting the Iranian general for peace talks in his country. Thank you for hosting him and bringing him and inviting him for these peace talks. And so he went there to Iraq under the auspices of peace talks, right? Under the pretense of peace talks, supposedly, and then was killed under those conditions. And that's where we are now. So is that what is happening in the news media? Is that what they're saying? Is that the narrative? What words are they using to talk about this prospect of going to war? That's something I think that we should be aware of. We should try to be actively aware of the angle at which these different things are presented. Superfan Chris said, "Nope, not at all. It is hard to tell the truth from fiction when it comes to the media." Yeah, there's no probably to whether or not they get paid for telling the truth. There is no who loves you enough to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? I mean, that takes an amount of love that I think nobody almost people are longing for, but they probably don't find. A lot of people seek that out all their life. I think this truth that because think about it, sometimes the truth is something we've hidden most of our lives from people because at some point it either hurts us or it hurts them or hurts somebody, right? And that's why I say that the truth can hurt. It's weakness leaving your mind, right? Because sometimes we don't want to reveal the truth of our error, or we don't want to reveal the truth of someone else's error. And so we lie to them and tell them they did great. We lie to them and tell them, "Oh, I loved your cake," or whatever shit. You know what I mean? And it's lies. We don't tell the truth. I mean, and we know because if we told the truth, this person couldn't handle the truth, and so we almost, I don't know, we live in this crazy delirium, and I think that's what drives people crazy, is that kind of situation. So if we all were just impeccable with our word and told the truth and just did our best and just didn't take anything personal, we could hear the truth and not take it personal. We could tell the truth and not make it personal, but I don't know. We don't do that. We try not. I mean, I try as much as I can not to make assumptions, try to be impeccable with my word, do my best. Don't take things personal. It's hard, man. It's hard. But I mean, if I do that, the more that I do that, then I don't misunderstand people and then overreact and act stupid and I was wrong and then have to come back with my tail between my legs kind of crap. I don't like that. No, I would rather let's just flush this out now. Hey, let's talk about something that's going on, or whatever. That's always better than making up a story, because then you gotta, it's like any lie has to be held up and scaffolded, and there's just this. It's like fixing a termite house. It's like the house has been eaten out by termites, but you're just slapping on new drywall, and then it's like stuff starts falling apart, but you just we'll just nail some wood to this other drywall and something else, and then we'll patch the drywall and just keep patching and patching this termite house. And that's sort of I don't know, I guess that's what it seems like. Sort of like that. All right. Well, you guys tell me. You got 4 people out of this whole world of all these people on it, watching on YouTube. Got 1 person. Thanks for joining on Facebook, by the way. If you are going to comment on Facebook, comments sort of take a little while. Jump onto the YouTube feed, and it's a little bit easier. But whatever. Let's talk about it. Might go to war. What do you think? Exciting? Nah. I don't know. Does everyone have to feign patriotism so people don't get in a fight? What's going to happen? I don't know. Are there any protesters? Are you going to protest? Do you want to go to war? I mean, I don't. What if there's a draft? You think there should be a draft? There's a defense for the draft saying that basically, if you're paid to go to war and paid to this is your livelihood, then how, if this is your livelihood, are you really going to tell the truth about what's happening? If you could possibly lose your livelihood or be demoted or punished therein. So by forcing people, by picking them up and saying, okay, we're going to go to war, then we're going to take everyone's kids and we're going to send them off to war. And then whatever tales they come back with, we're going to be heroic or it's going to be shitty. And then at least they're going to tell the truth because they didn't want to really go. So whatever, they can't wait to get home anyway. And then so what do you get? You get actual footage of war. You get actual tales of what's going on. You see what American foreign policy does on the ground. And it's like, oh man, they let the cat out of the bag. And, and if we stop doing the draft and we just have people for hire that, maybe they raised their hand and joined under this pretense of like defending their country and had this really like intrinsic value to join the military. That's just been sort of like, well, we got them, so why don't we use them? Hey, let's go conduct operations. We got to secure the world. Let's go secure it. And these contractors that are either extracting a mineral or doing some other shit. And it just seems to happen. I don't know. You tell me, whatever, if I'm lacking nuance, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Give me a scolding, whatever you need to do to make you feel better. But I would say, look, I'm not going to take it personal, and I will simply try to do my best to answer your question without making assumptions. But I think the more of us that come together and really start to question, here's the thing. We start to question one question, it opens up this door to another question, which then everything starts to fall apart. It's like this big, cascade of dominoes that fans out and like it starts falling apart. And sometimes we start to hit nerves or hit certain dominoes that cause bigger problems. And you start talking about key things and people start really getting either offended or weirded out, or it gets too controversial for them. And that gets some people to where they don't want to talk about that. They get uncomfortable. We shouldn't talk about religion or politics or anything that makes me feel something. I might feel it. And how dare you make me feel like this or that. And people get personally attacked. You know what I mean? And I think that's a problem that we get so offended. It's like we're so like, not we all, but some people are so desperate for like this feeling of like belonging or something, that like I'm offended about this thing that you did, or maybe they're so desperate to stand out. I don't know. Maybe it's a mix of both. I'm telling you, there's so many sort of dichotomies that are like polarizing our whole nation, our whole society. People are pushed and pulled in opposite directions, and they don't know what the hell they're supposed to do. In everything, like whether they wake up in the morning motivated to take over the world or be pragmatic, know where you're, what's the right choice. Bring your passions with you. Don't chase your passion, as Mike Rowe would tell you. Even though that asshole chased his passion, he makes you think he actually does those dirty jobs. He's a fucking actor. He doesn't do shit. He does acting. Acting is work. That's a craft. That's an art. Good job. He's great at it. He's convinced the whole swath of America that he's like actually hauling pig shit on the daily, and he represents that code. Take your passion with you. You don't have to chase your passion to chase the American dream. Take your passion with you. If it's available to you to be a pig shit hauler, well, then haul the pig shit and take your passion with you to the pig shit. Like, well, Sure, if you're gonna do the pig shit job and that's the only job you got to take, and that's it, well, take it and what? Do your best. Just do your best at it, and then as soon as you can, get the hell out. Unless you find like, hey, you know what? Shit, I'm actually good at this pig shit stuff. Okay, I might be able to serve a lot of people some pig shit for their farm or their whatever you use pig shit for. And then next thing you know, he's a pig shit mogul. If you owned a $60 million pig shit enterprise, would you be all right telling people that you deal in pig shit? Like, I'd be like, yeah, I do. You won't believe it, but I deal in pig shit as I'm driving in my McLaren. Yeah, I deal in pig shit. Moving on. You got some or you want some? Otherwise, moving on. 60 million. All right. Pig shit. Let's do it. I bet someone's making 60 million out there off some fucking pig shit. Somebody, somehow, some way. All right, let's see. Superfan Chris says, feels like this is a land, territory, and resource grab by the U.S. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, really, if you destabilize the region and make it all really subservient to U.S. needs, and you have a situation where you don't have a real government and it's basically under martial control by the U.S., then the U.S. runs the whole thing. And you think, oh, James, you're from the U.S. Yeah, power play. I'm like, no, this is like, you're cheering on. Like, it's like saying the biggest kid in school that probably got held back a couple years because he's been like suspended from school for attacking others too many times, and now is like behind, but he's been working out a lot, so he's got huge muscles and shit, and he's older than everyone else, and he's going around like kicking everyone's ass. And I'm like, okay, should I be proud of that? Is that the way? Like, is that what we do? Is that what we want to do? There's some people that are like, yeah, hell yeah, that was me. Fuck yeah, I would own that school. That's my school, bitches. Yeah, bro, my school. Like, that's like a component of our society. I mean, I don't know. Some people might be, I don't know, of the 4 people, and then plus the archives. I don't know who's listening, and I don't know who's tuning in. And if you feel that way, let's talk about it. But I mean, it's like, we are misbehaving. And I mean, like, we as a human species could be on the verge of like future space, Star Trek. I'm almost afraid to say it because people will freak out, but literally like luxury space communism, where we have like the Federation and all we do is just like explore the galaxy and everything. Everyone's just like, we all ways. Let's talk about it. I have ways, it's not crazy. I'm not the one that made him up. I'm just like, it's not crazy, but nobody's talking about it. Like, why? It doesn't make sense, right? There's something going on. It's on purpose. It's on purpose, and it's not fair to anybody. So I'm trying to get people to tune in and talk about this shit. And it's not like, oh, everybody, it doesn't even have to be me hosting it. If there's a better person, please come host the show. I'm just saying, we all need to find a show or something where we get together and figure out what the fuck, man. There are people running the shit. It's like a fucking Ouija board. I don't even know if people know what a Ouija board is. Do you guys know what a Ouija board is, right? It's that board that has like the little shuttle thing, and it's got the alphabet on it, and like people put their hand on it, and it moves from one place to another, supposedly, and everyone denies moving that little shuttle thing, the letter selector. And excuse me, right? Everyone denies it. And somebody's moving it. Somebody's moving the shit, right? So it's like even the people who are like the smartest people you know, they're going to tell you about something that almost inevitably basically could be labeled as the Illuminati. That's like almost always like it goes to who is it? The 1% or the some special somebody, or I don't know. It could be a secret cabal. It could be a secret society. It could be just the richest people. It could be I don't know. It's whoever, right? And they all who it could be a little bit of all of them. Who knows? They all have their hand on that shit, and they're all like, "I didn't move it. I didn't do it," and it all just keeps moving, spelling out, "Fuck the people, fuck them," every time. But they are like, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it." So they all deny that anything's happening, and it's just like keeps happening, and that's I don't know. I think that is something we have to face as people. So how do we, as American people, face the fact that we have a government that's been hijacked, and and we, I don't know, what do we the people even want? I think that's been hijacked. I think the people have been manipulated. We have to remember that as technology advances, you know, we see advances in communications for the cell phone, right, or the mechanical advances with car technology, airplane technology. All of these things have moved so much, and propaganda in its truest form was invented in the 30s. So since the 30s, how much more sophisticated has propaganda become? And we have to be aware of that. How less sophisticated have our warnings to our children become about propaganda? It's all around us in everything we see. I mean, you end up talking like Morpheus. It is a world of bondage that you were born into, right? You can't taste it, you can't see it, you can't feel it. It is in the newspaper you read. It's all of that crap. Um, it's all around us, right? This is, and it sounds like ethereal, like it's like a matrix or some shit, but it is. It's a culture. We've been indoctrinated into a culture, and that's not that crazy because every era had a culture. I mean, there was a culture of feudalism, even though there was a economic breakdown of feudalism, but there was also an accompanying culture. We live in this sort of neoliberal culture that that everything is for market. Everything has a price in the in the neoliberal future and neoliberal present. And that's a surprising term to a lot of people that aren't really in the know, as far as politics. I mean, I'm not even in the know, quote unquote, but it's like there's a lot of folks that don't know the term neoliberal, right? The new liberal movement, and they mistake this notion of liberal, they this idea of liberal, and they end up mistaking it for the propagandized word for liberal, of this notion of like this, I don't know, sort of like this weird identity politics driven kind of, I don't know what it is. This sort of caricature of quote unquote what liberal is, but I'll tell you that more and more in quote unquote leftist camps, there's really a burgeoning left versus liberal, and liberal is the sort of this middle ground that's just almost as bad as, you might as well, you're like letting it happen kind of thing. And then, of course, you have the conservative group where you have a spectrum of conservatives. But I'll tell you that there's a lot of conservative folks that really toe a line with the Republican Party, and they don't see things any deeper than party politics. Because here's the thing: any of their positions, if they push to a logical conclusion, they end up failing. That's just what ends up happening. So who knows? The lucky number. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're still on. With 2 people on the front, still on YouTube. Out of the billions of people on this planet, got 2 folks, very unique. 3 very unique folks on YouTube. 1 on Facebook. By the way, if you're on Facebook, you can leave a live comment. But I'll tell you, the feed, for whatever reason, for my Facebook is not as active, or it doesn't update as quickly. So you may want to jump onto the YouTube link, which is also in the description. If, by the way, YouTube and Facebook, if you want to Skype in and give your opinion, I can plug you into the show, and you can tell the world what you think about whatever the hell we're saying. Now, the lucky number. Thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully you tune in all the time. The USA paid the price of tyranny. I don't know what exactly that means. Please elaborate. USA paid the price of tyranny. That's an interesting statement. That could be, pardon me while I stretch my neck. It could be that he's saying that we paid the price of, like, we're under tyranny now, in that we don't have control or something. Maybe, I don't know. USA paid the price of tyranny. I don't know. Please elaborate. If you're still on the lucky number, please tell us a little bit more about that. There. All right. So we talked a little bit about, I don't know, I guess the search for truth, but who knows what's going to happen in Iran? What are they going to do back? I don't know. I really wonder what the rest of the world is going to think about the United States. And I don't know. Do you think the United States is going to remain intact as a people? Is there a binding factor really anymore that binds the population? I don't know that war will solidify people the way that it did through the initial Middle East conflicts. I don't know. Are we numb to that? Or do you think we're going to succumb to that? I don't know. That's, I mean, that's the big question. I mean, a lot of it has to do with what you do about it. Protests, different things like that. But it's one of those situations where people have their, they got their nose to the grindstone, and they can't go and let their voice be heard. Even if they did, they'll have some, probably more than likely, conservative jerk saying, look at these people voicing their opinion. They should go home and shut up. That's not an American thing to do, First Amendment. No, that's not, you know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense. Right? Why would they? It's like there's a neurosis, not only on the conservative side of things, but just in general for our society. We live in this crazy duality almost all the time. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people. And I can see how that would be very confusing, disturbing, and probably screw with a lot of people. All right. So what do you guys think? We got some really good comments so far. Superfan Chris letting us know what's up. And then we had the lucky number drop a bomb at the end. They're saying the USA paid the price of tyranny. So it'd be, why don't you guys let me know what you think about that? Got 2 folks on Facebook right now. Leave a comment. This is to sort of like see what the hell's going on, right? People if they do, we even still actually have an active draft? I don't know. You tell me. I don't think we've done the draft in a while. But do you think if we go to a war with Iran, are we going to go and institute a draft? And do you agree with it or not? There are arguments to having a draft that you will say, if by forcing people to go against their will, because, hey, your country agreed to go to war against this other country, and that other country is not, is going to have to fight against their will. At least the people of that country are fighting against their will. I guess they could just give up, but would you just give up? That's, I don't know. It's a crazy situation. It's a crazy situation that we're in. So, got 4 people on YouTube. What do you think? Land grab. I think we just want to have influence in the region, and we're going to do it by hook or crook. And it sucks to the draft ended. Superfan Chris said the draft ended once the military became a voluntary force. But wasn't it voluntary prior to Vietnam? And the draft was instituted in Vietnam, wasn't it? There's still selective service system in place for all. Oh, selective service. I've heard that. I've heard that in lieu of draft. Is that that must be a component of the draft, but not the same exact thing. Like is draft like all able-bodied men, and then selective service is like, I don't know what that is. Like certain people, I guess, in a certain time might be drafted. Because supposedly there's like to get, okay, so Superfan Chris says selective service is a contingency plan for the government setup. Oh, yeah. So like if you signed up for like a government-backed loan and stuff like that, you have to sign up for the selective service. And that is, those people get selected for service overseas or whatever in the military. And yay, that's you and me. I signed paperwork for that, so I'm part of the selective service. Is it up to 45? Chris, I think Superfan Chris said something about it being up to 45 years old. I'm not there yet. I can't imagine that I would get selected to go to a war, but I don't know. That could be me. But I could be able to sing Creedence Clearwater Revival songs about how it ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no senator's son. All right, so got one person on Facebook. What's up? Tell us what you think. Let's see. Superfan Chris says 19 to 45 years old. Oh, hell no. I'm still eligible. I don't know. I have asthma. Asthmatic that I recently developed. Yes. Not, never mind. All right, so, dang, still eligible. I don't know if I'm still eligible with asthma though. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, I don't want people, anyone getting drafted to go do this shit. That's ridiculous, man. Can imagine. I mean, people, but honestly, there is this weird fetishization of not only veterans, but veterans that are injured. Veterans, like, I swear there are families that like are more proud to be able, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I want my kid to go. Like, they want it. Like, I think, I don't know. But if you say it out loud, then they won't say it out loud, but it's like, I know it's got it there. It's just, I don't know. There's something, There's something afoot. There's something going on. You tell me. You guys tell me. I don't know. All right, Superman Chris says they will still let you in. I don't want to get. They don't want to let me in. No, I don't want to get let in. They have to force me in. I don't want to be drafted for this shit. They'll just pay you for your asthma when you get out and become a disabled man. What? Oh yeah, no doubt. Hey, well, I don't know. They might catch me if I'm going through boot camp or something. They make you do some pretty rigorous exercises. If I had to do all that without an inhaler, whew, man, I'd be wheezing. Though I do go running without an inhaler pretty often. I don't know. Maybe I could hack it without without an inhaler. I don't know. I haven't tried it. I don't have the will, skill, or time to do that experiment. If I get drafted, we'll do the I just got drafted episode, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there, people. All right, so shit, yeah, I don't want to have to claim my asthmatic status as a disabled vet either. Oh God. What a crazy time. What's gonna happen? I don't know. I think that one of the problems is there's not enough of normal people like you and me and whoever is watching this this podcast to start running for office. And like there's like runforsomething.net or something, I don't know, .org, some shit like that. Anyway, you can look it up. They'll help you run. They'll help you organize and do your thing. People, normal ass people need to be like, look, I'm tired of this bullshit. I don't work for Halliburton. I don't work for Raytheon or Lockheed Martin. I'm not part of the F-35 commission. I just want this shit to fucking stop. And then run for office. Just fucking do it. People will vote for you. Because tired for the. I think that people are tired of this shit. I think if you think I'm wrong, write in the comments. There are live comments just for you to write your opinion right there. No, you feel like nobody's listening? I'm listening. James Boyd, the whole show, everybody here is listening right now. So go ahead and write something down, Skype in. Tell us your opinion. All right, Superfan Chris says, as long as you don't have flat feet and a severe disability or blind as a bat, you can get, yeah, that's true. You can be pretty messed up in the eyes and they'll give you that those birth control glasses and move you right along. Issue your crap in MEPS or whatever they call it, or you get all sized up and shit. Here you go. You're now government issue. You belong to us. Processed. This is the processing place. Yeah, you get processed through the gates. Now you belong to the government. Yeah, I don't want to do that either. Come on, already been. What a weird twist of fate that would be. But I guess we'll have to see. It's out of my control. So I've committed though that while it's out of my control, I'm not going to give a shit about really. I mean, I don't know. What am I going to do about it? Trump wants to go to war. Everybody votes for it. They give him guns and bombs and troops and do whatever he wants. I mean, what am I going to do about it? Until I get in a position where I can do some shit about it, I'm going to be like, I think it's stupid. Like, I don't know. Let's don't do this. Let's not send people to more war. Let's not kill more people just for a few people to get some shit. Like, come on, this is stupid. Oh, but there's people defending it tooth and nail. I mean, that's just crazy. Look up the comment that, Superfan Chris says, look up the comment that T.I. made in regards to this Iran situation. Very interesting perspective. Ooh, T.I., what did he say? That's interesting. So T.I. Iran. Oh God, what just happened? Oh Jesus Christ! All right, T.I. God, I feel like such a boomer when that stuff happens. Oh, is this when T.I. defends Iran and Negro MAGA patriots go off? Moguldom. Do I trust Moguldom? Celebrity Insider? What do you think? Who? Ben Shapiro. Shameful. Rapper T.I. sides with Iran. Facebook. What is that? Oh, here we go. All right, so T.I. I'm gonna look at allhiphop.com. Here we go. This is Trump. I mean, I probably will. Ooh. T.I. said he's praying for soldiers from Iran and the United States as the two countries prepare for possible war. Rap star bashed President Donald Trump in a caption of social media posts. He's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. In the caption, T.I. agreed with the Iranian leader and slammed President Trump as racist. All right, here we go. What? Yep. He said, yep. Exactly what he said. Hold on. Let me show you all what it was that he got. It's going to be 1 second while I switch this up and do some. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to do this. Do some movie magic here. All right. Bam. Here we go. Oh, no. All right. All right, so he says, so here's this, there's a clip. I guess we could play this.
چرا ملت ایران میگن مرگ بر آمریکا؟ اولا بنده این رو برای حضرات بزرگان آمریکایی روشن کنم. مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر ترامپ و جان بولتون و پومپئو. مرگ بر اینا یعنی مرگ بر سردمداران. ما به مردم آمریکا کاری نداریم. مرگ بر آمریکا یعنی مرگ بر شما چندتایی که اون گروهی که دارید اداره میکنید کشورتون رو. مراد اینه. حالا در این دوره اینان.
Dang. Yeah, just death to the people who are in charge. Okay, yeah, I probably should have read that along. I forgot that we're going to do some archive stuff. But basically saying, why are we chanting death to America? We're not talking about death to all America, just to the people in charge of America, because it's not the American people writ large, basically, is what he's saying. All right, so what did T.I. say? Yep, exactly what he said. Ain't no Iranian never called me no beep, infested our communities with dope, and then locked us up for it. Allowed the police to pull us over and gun us down with no accountability, or enslaved us and try to act like the shit ain't happened. So as I pray for our soldiers, I'm also going to be praying for theirs. This ain't our war, champ. Don't start shit, won't be shit. MAGA hats ought to go first. I mean, I tend to agree with T.I. on pretty much those points. Oh, no, infinity screen. Oh, God, what just happened? I need an editor. Someone come help with this. Oh, God, what? A director, editor, something. Bam. All right, there we go. Oh, I mean, about the death part. I mean, I'm not trying to wish death on people or whatever. Oh, God, what's happening? Is this working? Here we go. Yes. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying agree. Yup, what he said per se. I'm just saying that thank you, leader of another country, to acknowledge that it's not the people of the country who caused this idiocy to happen, that it is the idiots in charge of the country that made this happen. And like, thanks for making that differentiation, because for some reason the American people or also our American leadership can't seem to make that distinction either. So if the Saudi Arabian idiots do something stupid, then it's all of Saudi Arabia. Or, oh, if the Iraqi leader did something stupid, then it's all Iraqis. Or Syrian leader did something stupid, now it's all Syrians. Like this kind of thing, the fact that Trump can do something stupid and it's not all Americans, that people recognize that. And I think that's something also to be realized too, because if in a situation where factions do start to break up, like real life, I mean, super like bifurcated and split factions start to exist in the country, who's to say that some of these other countries wouldn't choose one faction or another to help install one government or retain another government? What will this government even look like if the Trump era folks are the future of the American government? Will a rebellion against that American government emerge? Or will a new era come in with a different presidency and that's all it takes? What will happen to the Trump people? Will they just lick their wounds and then find some other person to latch onto in the manner of Trump? Or will they instigate some kind of bigger conflict that will happen? I don't know. A lot of Trump people have already made some type of threat here or there about going to up to and including civil war. So pretty scary stuff. That's why I try to warn people that the fact that the sort of quote unquote conservative movement is associated with guns, and the non-conservative or quote unquote left wing or liberal quote unquote group of people is associated with a aversion to guns and any kind of armament or that kind of violence. And not only in the nature of a lot of folks that move towards that direction, but it's purposeful to make sure to reinforce that stereotype, because now you have a situation where the status quo, the people who have power now, will be protected by those who would seek to conserve the status quo as it is, literally status quo. They would preserve that, so therefore they're armed. And the people who would seek to change that have an aversion to those arms. So they, of course, won't have arms, and they won't have any way to defend themselves or fight to make change, right? So that's something that, we got to think about too. So some of you guys out there might be like, dang, I always hated guns. I had an aversion to guns. But the truth, even though it hurts or sucks, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. The truth is you probably should become familiar, because look, whether you're right wing or left wing or whatever, just know that some extremist out there somewhere has a bunch of guns with them, and it may be your neighbor at this point, because that's sort of the world we live in right now. And they could be any race. It doesn't matter at this point. So they're all around. It's just simply the culture that we have. We have to work on it one person at a time. Let's all join together in this fellowship to make that happen. Hopefully, anyway, that's sort of the aim of the game, to do this, for this show anyway. But I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. I do have a Patreon link if you want to subscribe on Patreon. I'm still trying to come up with what you get for donating on Patreon. You tell me. There's a lot of ideas I have. I've gone from anywhere from reading a book to doing, I don't know, freestyle sessions. Seprock Beats, link in the description. This one's called Voice of the Miraculous. So check that out. And we have the year of abundance coming up. 2020, a big year. Everybody's making money. not, let's talk. You can find a way. Gotta do this. All right. So anyway, I'm out. Seprock Beats on track every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Tell your friends. All that. You know, the normal stuff. Like, subscribe, get the notifications.
Tell it back.